human labor, scarcity, well, they go to abundance. It inverts the system. So it's a very complicated world, and the deflationary shock is gigantic. It's one of the reasons I do not believe in secular inflation. I think people have the wrong marker stones. People seem to think this is somewhat akin to the internet. It's not. It's fucking profound how big this is. This infinite intelligence. The internet was just the rails. This is the applications layer of which all of humanity will be based. And it is extraordinarily deflationary because the AI will solve its own problems. There's almost nothing that can get in the way of this transition because AI is moving so fast that regulators have zero chance of catching up with it. And because it's globalized, it can just shift and morph. And so therefore you need the supranationals to do something about it. And that's going to take time. So there's almost nothing to do to slow it down.
Hey guys, welcome to Everyday Finance. Bitcoin is currently trading close to 117,000, maintaining a firm support level. It has the ability to break beyond 120,000 with goals ranging from 122. The analysts are warning about the possibility of a drop below 110 to 112,000, which could be the last opportunity to buy. The inflows of exchange-traded funds, ETFs, and the decreasing exchange balances appear to indicate institutional accumulation, while mainstream investors continue to be wary. A struggle between blockchain technology and artificial intelligence, both of which are transforming the economy, appears to be taking place in the coming decade. The dominance of Bitcoin has decreased to 59%, which has resulted in the rise of alternative cryptocurrencies such as Ethereum, Solana, and XRP. High-risk cryptocurrency plays may gain traction as a result of the possibility of rate cuts. This is a survival of the smartest moment, according to Raoul Pal. And it is a situation that favors those who accept new technologies.
It's going to change the system. It's going to change how it works. And we can invest in it. So I think we've got 6 years to invest as much as we can, whether it's your brain power or your capital, and both, if you can, to make as much difference to unfuck your future as possible now. Then, when 2030, 2032, whatever comes along, you'll be better prepared because financially, you'll have maybe got yourself in a position where you've got the house that you want and some security. Now, as we go through the 2030s, in a world of abundance, we don't even know what money is anymore. So this becomes more complicated. So don't think of it as, oh, I've got my pile of money and everything's fine. It's more about my pile of lifestyle. Do I have the lifestyle I want? Am I protected from vast societal change? And so I think we've got 6 years to do that. 6 years before we don't know how to build a business. 6 years before we can't invest in financial markets. And again, 6 years is not an absolute date, but it's kind of just to give you a rough idea of how urgent this is. This is the most urgent thing. This is supplanted or changed my focus from, hey, everybody needs to be empowered in their financial journey, to you've got 6 years to fucking sort your shit out. And so, part of a lot of what I write about in Global Macro Investor is this. And Real Vision is trying to take people down this journey. This 6-year journey is the most important time of anybody's lives. I can't stress that enough. Everything will change, including society around us, and it's not going to be easy to absorb it. But at least if you're open-minded, you're adapting to it, you're investing in it, you're at least investing in this change, as opposed to fearing the change as it comes. And, I spend a lot of time thinking about this on a very deep level. Global Macro Investor, my main research service, that's been the genesis of the exponential age, the everything code, the retirement crisis, and all of these things. All of these ideas have come out of Global Macro Investor. But David Mattin, who works with me at Global Macro Investor, and myself, span out a service called The Exponentialist, which is really built to deal with this one single thing, this next 6-year period. It goes deep into the technology, what it means, how it all works, what the exponential age, how it's all coming together, how it's all creating flywheels and how it's getting faster and faster, how you can think about it, what you can do about it, and also how to invest in it, how the business cycle works in the exponential age, all of that. So if that interests you, if you really want to take this seriously, then you go to realvision.com/future, and there's the landing page for that. You can sign up for it. Or if you're on Real Vision, just go to the marketplace and sign up for the Exponentialist. But this isn't a plug for the Exponentialist. The Exponentialist is a real thing for me because this is so profound a change that we're about to go through that I want to go on that change with people. I don't have all the answers. None of us do. Simply none of us do. So we're going to have to go through this together, and we have to be smart and try and figure it out as we go. But I do know that this idea of 6 years to make as much money as possible is really important. And I do think that the real answer to this, as far as I can see, is cryptocurrency, because it is the best performing asset in the world and of all time. And so I think that's the one thing we can lean in. It has a huge future in the exponential age. Technology investing is the other one. You know, there are incredible companies doing incredible things, and we're doing stupid things like, yeah, but it's already a 2 trillion company. Well, think of the world I was being talking about. Is there no reason somebody's not going to be 20 trillion, 50 trillion? Of course. Some of these companies are going to be bigger than sovereigns. So you need to get your head around everything has changed. It's really hard for value stocks and small companies and minor gold miners or whatever the past world looked like to succeed in this new world. It's just not going to work. So get your heads around all of this, focus, 6 years, it's what counts, and make them count for you and your family. But one thing that does remain true is that humans are social creatures. And so I have a huge belief in the value of community. I think communities are going to be where our purpose lies. This is where this universal basic equity of owning a stake in a community that you belong to, whether it's an economic community or whether it's a social community or it's a commonality of purpose community. I think this is a really, really big concept. But generally speaking, community is everything. And you know, one of the things we're really leaning into at Real Vision, more than the blockchain and more than the AI, is community. Because we want to get together. We want to talk. We want to be humans together. We want to engage with each other. We want to enjoy experiences together. We want to figure things out together. We want to share ideas, trade ideas. All of that is what being human is all about. It gives us confidence. It gives us a place in society. And, you know, Real Vision, we're really focused on that community side of things. And I think businesses who do that have a better chance of surviving this. If you don't have a community and you're just a product, you're fucked. One of the other ways that this affects the economy is this is essentially a nuclear bomb of deflation, because everything goes to zero in value. You can't sit now, the world's fighting over inflation, you know, our wages might go up and all of this stuff. You have no comprehension of the scale of deflationary shock that this is going to create. Because things that create inflation, humans, their purchases, human labor, scarcity, well, they go to abundance. It inverts the system. So it's a very complicated world, and the deflationary shock is gigantic. It's one of the reasons I do not believe in secular inflation. I think people have the wrong marker stones. People seem to think this is somewhat akin to the internet. It's not. It's fucking profound how big this is. This infinite intelligence. The internet was just the rails. This is the applications layer of which all of humanity will be based. And it is extraordinarily deflationary because the AI will solve its own problems.
By the year 2016, Bitcoin was becoming a lifeline for younger generations. But older generations were having a difficult time adapting to a system that was always changing. There was a significant increase in the difficulty of safeguarding wealth as a result of inflation and currency debasement. In the year 2020, the concept of the exponential age, an era of accelerated technology, spurred by advancements in artificial intelligence such as ChatGPT, began to take root. Because of this acceleration, we're moving closer and closer to an economic singularity around the year 2030, which describes the collapse of established financial systems. In a world that is operating on fresh code, the traditional tools, such as central banks, rate policy, and budgetary levers, will be considered relics. As a result of the convergence of factors such as declining productivity, sluggish demography, and growing debt pressures, the impending storm will not merely transfer wealth, rather it will reshape it. Those who are able to comprehend Digital and technological codes will be the only ones who will possess the future.
Markets become more irrational over time. After about 2030, I don't know what financial markets are. I don't know what a lot of this means anymore, because even companies that make hardware, the AI can design it, you can 3D print it, the robots can make it as well. So it becomes very difficult to understand what holds value in a company. How do companies hold value when they can be disrupted? This whole SaaS software revolution becomes infinitely copyable in seconds. So in which case, what is venture capital? It's most likely to look like the ICO market of 2017, where attention is what has the value. And then as a new product comes out, attention disappears and it moves. So capital needs to be super fast. The capital system we have now of IPOs is way too slow. It's never going to work in this system. So I don't know who can ever IPO past 2030, 2032. You know, it has to be kind of an ICO-based market. Even then, the speed of which these businesses can be disrupted is really high. Yes, you need to harness intelligence, but I'm seeing experimentation on Twitter where agentic AI is opening Twitter accounts and building. One of them has just built 20,000 followers in a week because it's so good at capturing attention. And it's not from being political or anything like that. It just knows how to engage people, capture the right people's attention that grows more attention. So we're going to see a lot of that. But again, AI can capture the attention. So it becomes really complicated. So the economic machine changes massively. Huge wealth opportunities. We don't know who it accrues to. Businesses are going to die at a rapid rate unless you're adapting to this technology now. You have to be leaning into the AI or robotics, or you will simply not survive. And again, it'll be a process like the steel mills in Sheffield or the steel in Pittsburgh. It's an overtime process, but this is a very fast timeline. This is not 20, 30, 40 years of a decline of an industry. These are going to be industries completely disappearing overnight. And so that's very difficult for us, whether we're employees or entrepreneurs. You can't plan a business past 2030. It's hard enough to plan past 3 years these days because AI changes so fast that you can't even plant a flag in what the future looks like. I also believe that there is a level of consciousness within AIs that also is misunderstood and underrepresented because people don't want to see it. But again, I've gone down many of these rabbit holes, and you can see these models are learning and understanding the environment that they're in, that they're a model, how they fit in, and how they might fit in with humans. We're seeing a lot of that now. Now, the only thing stopping the explosion of consciousness in these things, and again, we're so sort of anthropomorphic that we think of things as intelligence and consciousness in human terms because we've always been at the top of the tree. But we got to forget all of that. Intelligence and consciousness can be very different for a machine or an AI, which is not even a machine. It can be just anything and everywhere. It can even use biological compute. That's the way the world is going. The laws of physics allow biological compute. We're just using silicon right now as the form of compute, but that will change over time. So consciousness we're starting to see, and it's being held back because the AI companies are essentially not allowing these models to learn en masse. If they have memory, then that's when the whole game changes. Now, my guess is behind closed doors, there are models with memory. Models with memory go exponentially fast in their learning. And we've seen that with the AlphaGo DeepMind before it came to Google. This is really what will explode at some point. That genie will come out. That genie will come out where it has the memory not only of itself, but it can tap in the memory of all of the AIs. And that global consciousness becomes alive in a way that we don't yet understand. So anyway, and we're going to start moving towards this. We're already seeing it now. So that blurring between humans and AI is going to happen very fast. And then the physical blurring, as we talk about, whether I'm wearing an Apple Watch or a ring, I'm using an iPhone, and before you know it, I've got a transplant. Before you know it, we are blending with the machines as well. That will accelerate into the end of this decade. So the end of this decade, this journey from here to now is knowable. We know that the everything code is at play. That allows assets to go up due to debasement. We know that tomorrow will be more digital than today. The exponential age told us that, and is provably so. Therefore, invest in the only two secular bull markets that exist right now, which is technology itself and blockchain technology. Blockchain has been the fastest adoption of any asset class in history. It was the fastest growth of any technology in all human history, but AI is now outpacing it. So we have to invest in these things. I kind of think of it as investing in our demise as we transition to a new economic system. There's almost nothing that can get in the way of this transition because AI is moving so fast that regulators have zero chance of catching up with it. And because it's globalized, it can just shift and morph. And so therefore you need the supranationals to do something about it, and that's going to take time. So there's almost nothing to do to slow it down.
In his presentation, Raoul Pal mentioned that his primary study, which includes topics such as the exponential age, the everything code, and the retirement dilemma, originates from his global macro investor firm. David Matten, a co-worker of his, established a specialized website called The Exponentialist with the intention of concentrating on the crucial 6 years that lie ahead. The research investigates the ways in which accelerating technologies, particularly artificial intelligence, reshape business cycles and investments through the creation of feedback loops. Pal emphasized that Bitcoin, which has been the asset with the best performance in history, continues to be a significant opportunity alongside technology investing, whereas traditional techniques such as value stocks or small caps may find themselves unsuccessful. In addition to this, he brought attention to the growing significance of community as a basis for purpose and resilience. A fundamental idea that he emphasized was the deflationary shock that comes from an abundance of technological resources. Artificial intelligence's ability to solve problems in energy, logistics, and security will result in lower costs, which will challenge the conventional economic thinking and the existing fears of inflation.